online, whereas we were offline a minute ago. Hello. It's stream number 59. Logging all the logs. So, this is what I got so far. I have this problem where if you open something that doesn't match, we should be getting a lot of errors and we're not able to show them anywhere. So I want to work on adding a third window that we can optionally put on the bottom, but maybe close, that shows the log. So example for that, we should be seeing, so how hard is it to like run this? If like I just did this, we're supposed to be seeing that. Error, bad signature, GIF header, bad signature, unable to parse header. Couple things I want to see for that. I want to see this highlighted in red. I want to see that highlighted in red as well. Possibly even like not highlight the bytes afterwards. Or maybe not highlight this, but just highlight this and show a log. How about we have two things like log show, log hide, log clear. Okay. I think it's all in here, right? Where are my menus? Where are my menus at? Oh, this is the hex range, right? Right, okay. Just looking at this thinking that I probably don't need this for a long time, if ever, so why don't I just delete it? Or I could leave it in there and have a different highlight. Let's have a different highlight. Let's say it's a drag range token. Drag range token. Oh, nunny. Hex editor. Drag highlight color. Ah, I just undid all that typing. Don't have any other constants. What's wrong with me? Color 32. Can I pick like cyan? Oh, I cannot. But light blue. Let's see what that looks like. Ooh, that's very light. It's extremely light. Huh. It's competing with the other highlight. What's the order in which we draw the highlights? Oh, that would be arbitrary. Okay, I suppose I should make this a B tree map. No, not a B tree map. Um, I'm just not worried about it right now. That is like hardly a color. That's almost white. We just do blue. What does blue look like? Too dark. Looks like we're gonna have to go custom. Not so dark, but a little bit more saturated. Hopefully not too much saturation. Um, a little bit more. Missing command. Uh, I think that's good enough for now. So I want to pick something there. Okay. Gonna have another thing. A thing. Should put it in this module or a submodule. This needs some refactoring. Maybe some quick refactoring of this. When is that cleared? I guess it never is. It never is it? We'll recreate it whenever we open this dialog. Yeah, but then when we close it, we'll go into this first if, but not the second, I guess. So let me try putting this inside of a top panel. Data views. Sizable true. Default height, I don't know, 500. Show inside. So that shouldn't have any visible change, right? Because I didn't add anything below the top bottom panel. Oh, it did add something. Okay. What happens if these are commented out? And now we can't see anything. All right, that tells me that this should be refactored to be like data, show data, draw data. Why am I calling it add content? Is it because this show calls it add content? It does. Central panel default. All right, this is to give it a margin. I remember this. Okay. Right click, refactor into function. Function it named. Look, I think I'm gonna just rename them all to be draw. Although they're often more than draw. It's really representing data views. Ahmed Goda, hello. Welcome back. Where did I go? MU16ZI, hi. All right. Oh, I'm tired. Okay, so there's going to be a state here tracking whether or not we're showing the log, right? Yeah, and if log has other state, it should be separate from a toggle. This should just be a show log toggle. So that is a bool. Let's default that to false. But then I have to add a menu to turn it on, so let's refactor this out to be the menus. Keep the bar? Keep the bar outside? I think so. Refactor function. The function will be named top menu bar. Okay, so we have the data, we have the formats. Let's add the log. Oh, right, because this is a sub menu. I'm like, why does that not have an if? And why is it menu button instead of button? So I'm thinking like a show, a hide, and a clear. Which doesn't do anything yet, but this would be show log is true. This one's show log is false. Okay, and then data views. There's spoof. Can you make the show button disabled if show log is already true? Probably. Probably could do that. How do other UIs do this? Hmm. Trying to figure out where it moved the selection when I did that. Yeah, what am I doing? I am resurrecting an old tool. The today command's probably wrong though. It is working on error handling. Well, not error handling. Let's just say working on displaying the log in the GUI. That's what I'm doing today. That's kind of vague. Resurrecting an old tool for parsing binary files? I suppose it's vague. If anyone cares about what specifically it is, I guess they'd ask. I don't know. I could have the bot spam this. Remu's resurrecting DataDisintegrator, a tool that blah 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 blah. Should I do that? Project DataDisintegrator, a tool that, and then I have to do that. Here we go. We're doing it. Now the bot will spam on project. Okay. There's on disabled hover text, on disabled hover UI, but double click, but there's no disable. How do you suppose we show button grayed out? Enabled? But that's returning a bool. What does this mean? How do we set enabled? I don't know. No idea what this means. Yeah, I don't know if I can actually show a menu item disabled. Add enabled. What does that mean? Possibly disabled. Oh, grayed out. Oh, okay. So it's like a wrapper. Okay. Widget is impl widget. There's that widget trait, right? This doesn't give me this is into widget text. I guess I gotta do a button new. UI self. No, it probably calls UI on me. All right, enabled would be if not self show log. I could just have one button that just the text is different depending on whether it's shown or not. Wait, what? Is it just that it's early in the morning for me and I'm not seeing it? Oh, it's right here. Should have the flag actually do something. Here we go. Here you go, spoof. 19 points. Have you now? Okay, so log show. Log hide. It indents the whole thing. You see that? It adds some kind of weird margin. Or did I do that by accident? I probably did that by accident. No, I didn't. Is there like margin? Well, poop. Um I don't want it to like I don't want to add it's adding hmm. It's adding a few pixels all around. It's making it slightly smaller. Margin in the frame. Need to call frame. That's very unintuitive. Frame. Okay. What do I frame? What, default or something? Okay. I'm guessing because inner and outer margin are both. It's probably like saying you should use inner margin. You need inner margin. Okay. Zero. Why is that not the default? Ah, thank you, Spoof. I miss what was it? Yada. I miss Yada. Maybe I should go back to using that again. All right. I should also be closing the menu when I do that stuff. UI close menu, right? Don't know why that's not the default. Why would you want to like keep the... I guess because it doesn't know that these necessarily are menu buttons. The button doesn't know that it's part of a menu. You know, while we're messing around with menus, let me see if I can add check marks to those and sort them. All let's do is sorting first, because they're not sorted, right? These are certainly not sorted. Okay, this is a hash set. Why? Because it just is. Okay, there's no reason for this to be a hash set. It's a vector. Yes, it's a vector. Believe me, it's a vector. Okay, so then this should be into iterator collect. And we're going to do self formats sort unstable. Yata. I don't think I have a command for this anymore. Nope. You haven't heard of Yata? We got another Twitch. Hold on. Maybe I'm misspelling it. Or maybe it's finally gone. Oh, it's now, not how. There we go. It's a very featureful Twitch client that Hideo made. And I miss it. I should probably go back to using that. I'm just using the one in my Twitch dashboard. It would be sweet if I could just put that into the Twitch dashboard. I wonder if I could ask Hideo how to... Maybe he knows how to do that. Just replace the If anyone knows how to do it, he would. Okay. So show. Oh, I was looking at this, right? Yeah, nice and sorted now. I want to put a check mark next to the one that's selected. Okay, it's probably one of those wrappers, right? Oh, where am I? I'm just kind of wandering around now. I want to go to top menu bar. So here, I want it to be more than just a button. I mean, like a checked button. Check. Checked box isn't the right thing, right? Is it? How do you add check marks to items in a eGUI submenu? Come on, find me an answer. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Checkbox switch create a checkbox. You need to make a mutable boolean. Okay. I see. Okay. So just do I give it a dummy checked thing? That's sort of weird. Like, why am I giving it a mutable reference? I wonder if it's actually right about that. It is a mutable bool. Why? Why does it need to be a mutable bool? That's odd. Huh. I could make it public. It still needs a reference. That's weird. Wouldn't it be better if I just told it if it was checked and then it gave me a response if I selected it so I could uncheck it? That's a radio button, not a checkbox. You could use radio value. Yeah, maybe I make my own. Because how hard could it be? Apparently it's sort of hard. Because add a little check mark. Hmm. Well, did I actually give me a response? Mark changed. Well, I could hack it. I could just have the one that's always true and the one that's always false. Can I put them in self though? That means something will have reference to. Well, these don't live very long, right? So it might be okay. So then, yeah, don't I just we'll just have a bool. Let mute checked equal self-selected format. Does it not remember if it's selected? Guess it doesn't. Hold on. Hold that thought. Final references. The app knows. Okay, so I think we'll just do feedback. Self info overlay dot set selected format. Which is a string. That's fine. Okay. Such method does not exist. Let us add it. Self selected format option. My own accuracy on this keyboard is starting to annoy me. I get sloppy, I think, and I need to reinforce the muscle memory. Self.selected format. All right, so I need to add that to the self. I wish I could click on self and it would go to it, but it just opens this unhelpful menu. I want to go there. Okay, selected form. Here we go. I also wish that it would put this in sorted order. I wish a lot of things, don't I? Okay, so here's what we do. We say it's if format, if selected format, if matches. It's the thing we're matching against, right? And then some format. Okay, and then we do checkbox, mute checked, format, clicked. So I'm essentially just discarding this. That matches didn't quite work, did it? I think this is a binding, and I have to say, like, I have to put an if in here. Can you put an if in here? If, so this is like other format. If other format equals format. I can do that, right? Although because it's a macro, it really doesn't want to format this. So I have to give it some help. Okay. What keyboard am I using? A Dvorak? No, I'm using a Colmac keyboard that I made myself. Here it is. The rusty keyboard. I both made the keyboard and then made the ludicrous decision of learning Colmac instead of QWERTY. Can the code converted to APIs with Rust backend framework and its UI become web? Yes, and the backend would also be in the web because I should be able to compile this into WebAssembly. Matches doesn't do what you want. Just do selected format equals some format. Sure it does, spoof. But you're probably right. It's probably easier for me to just do a direct comparison. Have you seen me back streaming and watching on YouTube? Oh, okay. Hey, Daniel Geck. Some time ago you did a keyboard series. At the time you could not open the source code. You could not open the source code. What do you mean you could not open the source code? You mean like it's not open source? No, I still can't do open source because of job rule 3. How do I make typing harder? Exactly, get off my lawn. You're like, typing is too easy. How do I make it harder? I'll just build my own keyboard, switch the layout, and then suffer for years. Been using QWERTY for almost 40 years, not even gonna entertain. Well, for me it's not 40 years, it was more like 30 years. But Scott B, that's exactly what happened to me. I entertained learning a different one, and now it's been 2 years of suffering. But it is kind of cool in a way when my brain is in gear, then it's kind of cool. I can switch between a QWERTY and a Colmac layout. Yeah, no problem. One day, source code for the rusty keyboard. See that? There's even a little Ferris there with the Rust logo below it. Source of logo controversy recently. Someone say that open source is not the same as public source. I suppose. Okay, that didn't do what I hoped. It didn't actually mark it with the check mark because probably spoof is right. And my matches is just stupid. Can't move out. How about as ref? That'll work. Something tells me that this checkmark thing is not going to work though. See, it's still not putting a checkmark next to that. Oh, now it did. How come it didn't do it before? Oh, because we weren't setting it before. That's an initial conditions problem. The app sets it, but not on load. Right here, it should set it. Accessing a persistent state, we get the selected format, we get the info overlay, and we don't bother setting it. I guess that would be here, right? This info overlay set the selected format. It's been moved on 300. No, that's not where it moved. Where did it move? Moved on 323. Right there. Yeah, how about we're gonna use it later, so we'll clone it. All right, now you both get a copy. Is it normal for jobs to not allow open source contributions? Nah, from what I'm hearing, it's not normal. And I forgot to give you a point earlier for the matches debacle. So now you have 21. So now it's set. I kind of don't like how dim it is though, but maybe I shouldn't complain. Okay. Time to add the log. It's already almost 8 o'clock. My goodness, it's been 44 minutes. Why is this open? Close. Close. Close them all. Okay. It's just lame that I have to manufacture a checkmark box that we're not going to end up using because we're using the clicked anyway in order to send it to the app, and the app will feed back on us. But I guess it's better than the alternative. The alternative would be I have to maintain state. This one I'm just manufacturing something to use while drawing, and then I toss it. It's still, I'm wondering, why do they store a reference? Like, what's the point of doing that? I guess it's if I kept the checkbox around inside my overlays state, then this would sort of, it still has to, it still can't store, it can't own the state, it has to borrow it anyway. So like, why? Why? Why is this holding? This is like overly complicated. Like, is this ever used in a way that makes sense as a borrow? Find all references. Okay, find all the references of that. See, this is redundant to me. You're gonna negate it, but then you're gonna say that it's changed, right? Changed, which, so it's an immediate mode UI. Why do you need statefulness? Why can't you just use the response? It's been changed. Okay, enough complaining. I can't even submit a PR. I have to get approval to submit a PR, and the approval can take a long time. It's something that we're working on as a company. It's just long-standing fear, I guess, of conflict of interest or something like that. Anyway. Too many lawyers. Well, you know, sometimes you need lawyers. It's just reality of this world, how things are set right now. Think we're done with that. Okay. I want to rename add content. This should just be draw. Draw content. Oh wait, no, I wanted to remove the word draw. So this just represents the content, not the contest. The contest. Okay, so the log. I guess that's a bottom. Wouldn't I just call this central panel default? Because this is a bottom panel. Top bottom panel. There's no default, right? New. Wait, what? Bottom. ID. Log. Show inside. Scroll area, right? Vertical. Okay. Not so good with my memory on this one. Is it that I have to allocate the space and then do a vertical area? What happens if I just do a vertical area and do a show? And yeah, what if I just do the show there? I don't know. How about a label? I notice I'm not being consistent about some things have egu in front, some don't. Actually, isn't it just UI.label? Hello. Log goes here. Wait, central panel is not resizable. I guess the resizable would, okay, these two lines probably go with this, and then that height doesn't need to be that big. Really code smell that indicates we are doing something wrong? A reality code smell? Hello, log goes here. Okay, it's snapping though. Why is it snap? Oh, because I didn't do allocate space. Yeah, so that is important. If we don't allocate the space, it just goes to the minimum. So I need some of this stuff. Not all of it though. Right here, right? I might want to do this to like round up to the nearest like row height. Wait, there's an alias? Alias none. Oh, no? Wait, what is this thing about alias? Alias none. So I can do none here? It doesn't like none. I don't know what alias none means. Okay, so UI. I'll think about doing that later. All right. Doc alias just means when you search for the alias, it shows the item that's being aliased. So you could search for none, and then you'll be disappointed that there is no such thing. But hey, don't worry. There's this thing called hover, which means none. Okay, cool. How come I can't shrink it below that? That was the whole point of making a vertical. Huh. Anyway, it remembers, right? Yeah, so how does it remember that? I guess it's because of this. It remembers its state. So yeah, what happens if I don't do that? I'm just gonna hand out more points to Spoof for teaching me about alias. Okay, it looks like it's just very greedy. Every time I move the mouse, it wants more. I think it's because this child UI is using the area we allocated there. This doesn't seem right though. Like, should... Well, but it is right? Because this is really the canvas area that I want. And it starts out as the available size, right? Diamolroy, hey. Thanks for the raid. Adjective Allison, hello. How was your stream? What were you doing? If you need to go, that's fine too. Hey, Roasted DB. Well typed witch. Hello. Let's see. So how come going to your channel, I'm seeing Primogen's channel? Weird. Anyway. You're building a CLI with OCaml and React. Nice. Why doesn't Rust compile to JavaScript? Because JavaScript is not a target language you can compile to. You could transpile it, possibly. So, is OCaml just like a fad that everyone's using it these days on Twitch? Not everyone, but a lot of different people I've seen are using OCaml. Is it a thing where one streamer starts to use it and then it kind of spreads to other ones? Seems kind of cool. Now you guys are going to make me do OCaml, aren't you? That's how I got into this Rust business. Working on a tool called Create Melange app. We're generating project scaffolding with Melange. Cool. First Rust compiler was written in OCaml. I think I've heard that before. Well, let me give a, I guess, introduction to what I'm doing if you haven't seen my stream before. So we're like on stream 59 of working on this tool, and I actually need to open a real file to show this. So let's find a real file. Stage lol.gif. So this is a GIF file, right? Now, with the tool I'm writing, you can click on a byte and see what it means. So I might click over here and like, oh, that's the LSB of the logical screen's height, which is there. And oh, cool, there's a global color table. That's where it is. And here's where the size is encoded. And oh, look, there's a special purpose application. What does that say? Application extension block, right? And the application identifier is Netscape. Did you know that most GIFs use this? And I have no idea why. It's very mysterious, but there's a Netscape 2.0 in most GIFs to this day. But yeah, here's a frame of an animated GIF. So that's the delay time in hundredths of a second. So it's 33 frames per second. And here's the descriptor of the image. So it's like how big it is, where to draw it in the window. Because did you know the frames of a GIF can be different size from the GIF itself? And you can do all sorts of fun things with that. That used to be a fad in Discord a while back. Maybe it still is in some Discord servers. And then here's the raw image data, which we're not actually decoding, but we have the block sizes identified. If I wanted to, I could collect all the bytes from the blocks here and do an LZW decompression and get the indices for the color table and actually know what the pixel colors are. Don't think Discord supports resize GIFs? Spoof, you are possibly correct today, but last year it was certainly a fad in some of the Discord servers I was in. They had resizing GIFs. It was the thing. Oh, was it? Was it not GIFs? Was it only WebM? But it's a similar concept, right? I guess I just assumed that it worked with GIFs too, because you would think that it would, right? That as it's going through the different images, that it would use the height and width of the image. I think you're right, though. It was WebM. You've correct. I stand corrected. So yeah, as you can tell, the tool I'm writing is a decoder, and it's not just for GIFs. This is just an example. So you can program it to work with any kind of format that you describe in this domain-specific language. So it's like a combination of structure and function. So the overall file structure of GIF is it starts with the header and ends with the trailer. After the header, there's a logical screen, and then there's one or more data blocks. So that matches this, right? So here's your header, here's your logical screen, here's your data blocks. Like here's one of the data blocks, the second one, all the way down to 61 of them, all the way down to the trailer byte at the end. Interesting things about the language I made here. When you have just a word with a semicolon, it's just describing a part using a sub format. And there are built-in sub formats. S is just built-in for string. UI is built-in for unsigned integer. You can have a bit, which is also built-in. And there's a decimal, like for floating point numbers. And that's about it. Everything else is built up from that. And another interesting thing is when you have a part and it's inside a loop, it becomes a vector. So that's why data here is actually a vector. Each index is populated by one of the loops. So when you're done with, when you're done getting through the block 0, then the next one's block 1 or data 1. And yeah, I could rewrite this to parse JPEG, any kind of format. So kind of like my own version of Wireshark, which has a similar thing. You can look at packets raw, and it will interpret what the packets mean, and you can go into the individual fields of a packet. So kind of doing the same thing, and it's all for fun in Rust. There's some other like extra things I put into the language that I'm not using in the GUI yet. Like this is an interpretation map. This is saying after you parse the string version that's 24 bits long, if it's matches this, then here's an interpretation of that. So it's the 1987 version of the spec, and that's the 1989. I'm not using that yet. We're just showing the parsed string. We're not showing the interpretation, but I could. Other things right here are like, this is what's called a bounded region. So it knows that whatever's inside this block has to have exactly this number of bits. And if it's not exactly that, we either get a warning or an error. And you can use that to skip things you don't know how to parse. So data blocks, we don't know how to parse this because it kind of depends on where the context of a sub block. So right now I just skip it using a bounded region saying size times 8 bits. We don't know what it is. So that shows up when we're down here in these sub blocks. So like for this application identifier, I guess it's called, right? Application extension. We know that there's a 3-byte data block right here, but we don't parse it. Yeah, and like the raw pixels I was talking about earlier, those are like here between these two size fields. So this right here is the first data block. We skip it, so we don't even give it a name. It doesn't show up in the tree, but the parser knew to skip it. And I in the future I plan to like add syntax to the language where you can say take these bytes and actually make that a second level bit stream that we can then parse as a second pass. So yeah, today I'm working on adding a log. So it says hello, log goes here. The idea is that we add a panel here that we can collapse if we don't want to see it. I actually kind of also want to put an X button or something to auto collapse it. But you can just resize the panel. But it's going to show the log messages. So here are some example log messages. If I run with like something that's not a GIF file, we should get like 3 different errors. So after we parse the first 3 bytes, it doesn't look like a correct GIF signature, so we'll get an error bad signature. And that is because literally I have a check if signature is not equal to GIF, it's an error. And this exact string is what we see here. And that error propagates up, so the error applies both exactly where that is. That's a direct callback. And there's also the header itself has the same error. And then can't parse the header because we got an error inside of header. So I want to see these messages like in the GUI. Right now we only see it in the command line version. So that's what I'm working on. And hey there, A squared. Still rooting for an elf parser? We could do that. I should start collecting these ideas. So elf parser. What was it that someone else wanted a parser for? I can't remember now. But JPEG might be interesting. Oh, it's only 66 freedom degrees in here. It's cold. Being in Southern California, anything below 70 Fahrenheit is cold. Okay, so if I wanted to like round it to the nearest number of rows, this text height thing, that was a shortcut that I did in the draw for data tree, right? There was a text height. Okay. I'm just going to copy that. We have to know the font though. Indeed. So I guess we'll have like a font self.log font ID log font. Font ID. What are we going to set that font ID to? The log font. Let's go proportional 18, just like the data tree. And I think we need to borrow there, right? What? Oh, because this needs to be mutable. Okay, and then this is rounding up, which is weird because it's a net minus a negative. Okay, so the yeah, I wanted this to have the same font. How do I set the font on it? With font? With new rect? Font, set font. I don't know. How do I set the font on a label? Oh, wasn't it the text itself? It was like, I forget. See a lot of WebP being used online nowadays. What's WebP? Would SVG be interesting or possible? Yeah, but isn't SVG text? Like I could open an SVG here, right? How come I'm not showing the hidden files? I want to see all the hidden files. I know they're SVG files. They're just hidden. How do I see the hidden files? Do I have to type the dot? VS Code. Okay, that didn't quite work, but I should be able to go to here and do VS Code. Oh, is it? Is it under here, the VS Code? Yes. Extensions, like there's an SVG in here I saw. Here we go, bookmark. Open it. Yeah, so if we turn on word wrap, we can see an SVG is actually an XML in disguise. Oh, it's an XML? No! Control H for hidden files, probably. Oh, you already spoiled it, A squared. SVG is XML, yes. Do you live on North Pole? No, but I'm used to it being too warm, not too cold. Oh, you're talking about A squared. A squared might be possibly living at the North Pole. WebP is made by Google's replacement for JPEG, PNG, GIF. Okay. To the day you spent so looking for a way to edit a path, name a tool, and then remember you can just open it with a text editor. Yeah. So my tool could parse this, but it's harder, right? Because if it's looking at it as bytes, it first has to learn how to turn the bytes into characters. I guess we can just assume that it's ASCII, so that make it easy. Every 8 bits is a character. Then it has to essentially have a state machine, kind of like a Lexer, right? Because it's got to recognize that that's a certain kind of token, and you know that these are tokens, and then I have to actually put like almost like a parser state machine into it. So it would be quite difficult, I think, for a machine. It's difficult for a machine. It's difficult to make a decoder for this without having like a higher construct like a tokenizer. Just use a regex. Yeah, exactly. I'd have to put regexes in my language. Yeah, so I don't like XML. One reason I don't like it is we can open it as a text file, but it's misleading. It makes us think that as humans we should be reading this, but really we should not be. This is really made for machines, but it's in a pseudo human readable format. Yeah, it's an abomination. XML. Yeah. I think it's an abomination from an older age. Less cursed than YAML? Well, YAML, you would just look for new lines and white space. But still, YAML's human authored, right? JSON also could be human authored. I've been burned by JSON if you've been watching my stream long enough. The entire save state, the game state of my game was in JSON. It brought the game to a screeching crawl. Definitely don't recommend it for machine readable data. Yeah, you remember that? Yeah, it was a huge mistake. I mean, it was nice for testing because I could read it. But really, what I should have done is done a binary format and then made this tool that I'm working on here, right? Okay, I was trying to figure out. I think I don't remember offhand, so I'm just gonna look and see how it's done in their examples, I guess, or I can look at it here. Too many windows open. Directories, exit tool, bin code. GUI file. Okay, how about I go to label, and they probably have an example. Ah, it was rich text, right? Wasn't it rich text? Yes. Do new, and then we can do a font. Self log font. Clone, right? So why did they not make this thing copyable? If they have everything owning copies and they expect you to clone, why not make it copy? I don't get that. But we're cloning it. Why is JSON expensive to parse? It just is. You have to, it's the same problem as XML. You have to first pass through it to find the tokens. The tokens are smaller, but they're still tokens. And then you have to you have to have how do I say this? You have to go through the whole file to see its structure first before you can break it down, or at least line by line. It's slow. It can be fast, especially with SIMD acceleration. I don't believe it. Because you don't know how long a string is until you've actually parsed every single character of it. There's no prefix that tells you how long the string is. So you're forced to parse it in order, the entire file. You can't jump around. Is it because it's so dynamic versus a fixed known format? I think, yeah, that's my intuition, is that it would be slower because it is dynamic. You have to check so much, yeah. Spoof seems to think that it can be fast with SIMD acceleration, though. But then again, everything is faster when you do when you throw what am I trying to say? I don't know what I'm trying to say. I should just stop speaking. Oh, look at that. Look at that thing at the bottom. It's like, so the hex editor is overdrawing its bottom region. See that? It shouldn't be doing that. Huh. So that's a bug in the hex editor. In fact, I think we're going to see that bug in that. Yeah, see how it's using way more than it should. Okay, so I have, it's correct for the data tree, but not correct for the hex. That's not correct for the data tree either. Oh, we got bugs. It's not respecting its the size below. Well, shoot. It was playing so nice horizontally. It's just not playing nice vertically. Yeah, it's even the data tree is overdrawing it, or underdrawing it in this case. It's what it is the these two controls think that they're taller than they really are. So like right now, like I can make the scroll bar underneath, and I can't get to it. I can still use the mouse wheel to get back to the scroll bar, but yeah, hide it. So I go down to the end of the file and I show the log. It's like, okay, we were at the end of the file. Actually, why does it jump back up to 290? Why is it doing that? That's what I wanted to show, by the way. That's what's really selected. Do that, and like you can see that it didn't move at all. Okay. I think I might know why. I think it's because I made this one a central panel, and so it thinks it's taller. If I put that back to where it was, I think we get a different behavior. Now that they're both, I make them both resizable, right? Now the problem is that they're independently resizable. See that? That's the problem. Raw, squeeze it down. Okay. Central panel. Can't be resizable. Can't have a default height. But at least now the scroll bar should be correct. Yep. So if it's in a central panel, it thinks it owns more of the area. I guess that's the intent of a central panel. Could resize a lot faster with SIMD. What if you use the top bottom panel for the hex editor? Yeah, so that's what fixes it. I think that's what I'm also doing here. I think this is a left, right, and this is a central, if I remember it right. That's what I did, right? Yeah, I did a left panel and then a central on the right. Maybe that's just the way we gotta go. Hey, it works, right? So let's do some logging. So first I need to collect the log, right? I did this on my keyboard, so why don't I just open that project up and we'll take a look. How did I grab the log? We're gonna go back in time. This is like a year and a half ago. The firmware for my keyboard. Actually, I also did it in the monitor, didn't I? Didn't I have a log here? What did I do with the log? I just used simple logger, never mind. Not the monitor, firmware, source, logger. Here we go. So we did this thing. Log set logger racy. Leak ourself in a box. Do we still need to do that for log? Or have they gotten better? Let's see. Well, log hasn't changed forever, right? It's still 0.4. So it's probably the same thing, right? You have to do a set logger racy. Oh, unless we had a static one. Maybe that's the preferred one. Box logger. Is this new? Right. That's because it's static scope. Why did I make mine racy? Because I didn't have any static variables, right? So that I don't need to worry about. I can just do this set logger. I can make a static one, right? And I can use the boxed version, which is even easier. It takes a type erased log. Okay, so we have to have something of type log. We should make another module for this, right? Should make another module for this, and it should be done at the main, I think. And it should be plugged into the app, which plugs it into the info overlay. Okay. Logger or logger? Log? I don't know, log. Main. I'm like, where's the lib.rs? There is none. Let log equal log new. Box new, log new. Public struct log, impl log, public function new. It's going to tell me I should implement a default. And it's probably right. Okay. I think I just want to pass it through here. Too scrunched. There we go. Better. Okay, and we're just going to give it to the info overlay, aren't we? Oh, wrong thing. Here. Info overlay new. You get a log now. Yes, so we can do as box dyn log. That is right. It does not implement that. I think because of this, I'm overloading the name unnecessarily. So let me fix this. Logger. Okay. Ger. Logger. Okay. So I just need to implement log for logger. To do. All right. And then actually, I don't want to type erased log, do I? I actually want the real log. And I have to give a boxed type erased log to log crate. So really, how did I do this? How did I do this in the here? Oh, it wrote to something else. Okay. Yeah, I can do the same thing. So what I give to the log could be a different type. So yeah, this is the wrong type then. So it should just be this actually could be owned. That'd be easier if it was static. Let's see if I can make it owned. It's already used, so why do I have to do a crate? Can't I just do crate logger? Yes, I can. It's gonna insist on putting logger in there. I don't need that. It's like not smart enough to see that. Okay. Chasing the errors around. Yeah, so we don't want to type erase that. And I want to see if I can get away without boxing it. I think I can if I'm okay with the memory leak. But maybe not. We'll see. See, I don't want to actually implement it on logger itself. What I want to have is like something that's shared between the logger and this type. Well, if the logger is just writing to something, maybe I just do what I did for the keyboard and I have like just like keep it simple, just like a list of messages, like a vector. But it has to be shared. So messages. Let's make a message type. Started off simple. It's just body string. So this needs to be like definitely, well, it has to be shared, right? Let's just not share it until we need to. Okay, so what I wanted this to do was let this equal this, and then in the meantime, we need to we have to go to log and we have to say set logger, set box logger, and then I have to give it something in a box that has access to our message to write to our messages. So don't do I need the full thing, like RC ref cell? I think I do. In fact, let's not even make any assumptions on the thread. Let's make it a full-blown arc mutex. Because I don't know if some library we're using might log from a different thread. Okay, so I need to make something new. So another struct. Log writer. Sure. Log writer, and it has the same thing. And this is the implementation of log for that. And then I make a box new log writer where its messages is this messages cloned. There's a result. So I guess we'll just do an unwrap or expect. That's because it's only supposed to be called once, right? Yeah, it's an error if it's already been set. So we expect logger should only be created once. Okay. Cool. So flush, we don't need to do anything, right? What is flush for? Flush is any buffered records. We don't need to do that. So we're just logging everything at first now. So we don't care about this. It's true. Okay, I'm going to steal what I did for my keyboard. Like, I did this really nice formatting of stuff. Why does it think I... What? What? Oh, never mind. So we get the level, we get the target. What's module path? Unwrapper default. I forget what this does. Okay, so I don't have a timer, but I can do like a instant now, right? Duration since. Trying to think. Have I done this before on a previous Rust project? Not on the keyboard because we don't have an instant now. I can't remember. So let's just look it up. Find. How do you convert a Rust instant into a date and time? find. Use the chrono crate. Duration since instant epic. Date UTC from. Okay. Chrono it is. Is it really still 0.1? No, it's 0.4. Why did it say 0.1? Oh no, it said 0.4. I just didn't read it. Okay. Okay, it said to do duration since epic. Gotta let the dog out. Hey there, Nylon dude. This dude does code. I think find was hallucinating the Unix epic. Chrono. Is it in Chrono that maybe has it? I feel like I've done this like a million times and I can't remember one other place to look for. So I'm just like relearning it and it's a little frustrating, but that's okay. There is a standard time Unix epic. Why am I not seeing that? Standard. Oh, it's standard time. It was hallucinating it. Maybe. Expected instant found system time. System time. Ugh. Erg. What's this little run on thing do? I don't want to create an account. Screw you. Where's my... Here's playground. Yeah, there's no associated item Unix epic on instant. Hallucination! I feel like this should be easier to find. Like, maybe I just do a date time now? Local now. That's what I want. I want local now. Now is local time now. That's a date time. Great. Can I just like get the time? There's like a format. So I take it and I do dot format with the things I want. Okay, great. So then that symbol was because my keyboard has a left and a right half. I don't need that. Yeah, I'd separated seconds from microseconds. Let's continue to do that. So this part would be now dot format percent h percent percent. Which one is that? M percent S, right? I think. So and then millis. I need the microseconds from that. Timestamp micros. That do what I expect. Returns the number of non-leap microseconds since. So that's not what I want. I want just the microsecond remainder. I just want the offset from the current second. Shouldn't that be easy? Last second boundary. So I want this timestamp sub-second micros. Yes. I want that. Okay. And then the level, and then the target, and then the record. And then what we're doing with that is we're going to self dot messages dot lock dot expect messages should be lockable dot write dot push message. There we go. Not a string. Oh, it needed to be put into a message. Body. Whew. Okay. Don't need time instant because we're using chrono. So we got the messages in there. I need to let the dog back in first. Come on. Oh. What was that? I don't know. Okay, info overlay has this log, right? Hello, kitty. Kitty doesn't want to come over here. She just wants to say hi, and that she's gonna go eat. I'm like, okay. So do we just put the log here, don't we? Yeah. So logger. And then we use it when we draw. We draw. Let us draw. Yes. Where? Where am I drawing? I'm not drawing here, not data views. Again, I got your message. Jeez. Stop it. Content. Here we go. Log goes here, right? Okay, so should I just do a dumb approach, a naive approach, which would be just enumerate and draw them all? So we calculate, well, it's UI.painter.text, and we need a position, an anchor, a text, a font ID, and a text color. Right. Position. Anchor. Align to. Align to left top. The text is going to be, this is for message in self.log. Okay, we don't have a way to get it out. So why don't I just make it iterable? Is that going to be a problem? The iterator will need to have a guard. So yeah, let's make impl iterator for logger. The item will be a, I don't need to make a reference, right? I just make the type, so message. No, I want a reference to the message. Why can't I do that? Okay, message or logger. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing here? The logger doesn't have a lifetime on it. It's a type we don't have yet. Log messages, right? Okay. We need to make that. I don't remember if it has to be public or not. I don't think it does. So we can just say that we return some like messages, right? Can't we just say that we make some log messages or some impl of iterator? Item equals actually, can I just do that? And we make one of these guys. So this has got to have a mutex guard. Standard sync. Standard source sync? What? Standard sync, it's whatever lock returns. Mutex guard. Oh, I know what its problem is. I need to have a name first. And then it's the T itself, right? We can import that. Okay, so I also need to have an index. So index usize. So the next would be if index is greater than or equal to logger. Well, it's not logger, it's messages. Self.messages dot and it's not, this isn't the type, it's vec message, right? Length. Then it's none. Else. Actually, I guess I could turn this around. Sum. Self messages index. Actually, why don't I just make it a get? So let next equal self messages get self index. If next is sum, then self.index plus equal 1, right? And then next is what we return. Okay. And then what we're going to make here is we're going to make a log messages. Messages is self.messages.lock.expect. What do we expect? Should be able to lock messages. And then index is 0. Okay. Oh, okay. I got a message that I should deal with before I go to work. So hopefully I'm almost done because I want to get this working before I have to go to work. So, right. So this should be in messages. So the font ID is self log font clone. Actually, I can't get self. So let's get the font out. And then we do font.clone here. Okay, what color do we make it? I say we do color 32 and we make it white right now. The text is the message dot body. Looks like we don't have access to it. How disappointing. Probably because it can't parse what I'm doing here. It doesn't grok it. It is private. Let us make it public. For now. Actually, let's not make it public. Let's make an impl for message. Actually, let's make what I want to do eventually is to use the rich text part of, or the text builder or whatever it is in eGUI, right? So I want individual pieces of the message. So I think then I do want to just make this a plain old data structure. Okay, what's wrong here? Oh, there's an extra there. Okay, so as for the position, X and Y, right? So X should be 0, right? Oh wait, no. I need to know the main area left. And this is main area dot top plus let's enumerate so that I get I don't know, line number. And this is going to be plus line number times row height, which I got to pre-calculate. Actually, I have it up here, so we're good. I do have to multiply this. I mean, not multiply, convert it to an F32. And can't move it out, right? So we're actually, why is it okay, yeah, it is a reference, so we have to reference it. Okay, still have one error. What is this error? Lifetime may not live long enough. Okay, the lifetime annotations. Right, so this needs to be for the lifetime of logger, I think. Not compatible with the trait. So the trait says it has to be a certain lifetime for the borrow. Okay. So then maybe do I need, well, how do I do this then? So this has to be a shorter, the borrow has to be shorter then. So there has to be 2 lifetimes, right? I have to name this one. So I guess I'll name this one next. Next. And the thing is, can I name it this one right here? We don't want that there or that there, right? What's wrong with this? Constrained. Not constrained. Okay, yeah, so I want to say where logger outlives next. Wait. It's not constrained by the implementation trait, self-types, or predicates. Do I have to say like... I can't do it in a where clause. I don't know how to do this. Do I have to like put it here and say that. Not constrained by the implementation trait, self-type, or predicates. Predicates. I don't know what that means. I thought that would be a predicate, but it doesn't think that is a predicate. Whoa. Whoa. Text message. So if I can't figure out this lifetime thing, the alternative would be to manufacture a copy of the message, right? Maybe I just do that and call it a day and figure this out later because I'm running out of time. So we get an entire message out. We don't need to mark that. What we do here is we clone it. Why did that not work? Oh, because it's not clonable. So we have to mark it clonable. Or derive a clone trait, really. And while we're at it, let's also derive the debug trait, because it's always a good thing to do. So yeah, this is now a message. What? Hidden type captures lifetime does not appear in the bounds. Hidden type captures the anonymous lifetime. And explicit lifetime bound. Okay. There. I did it. All right. And we have one warning, and we're going to get rid of the warning, and we're going to see my log messages, right? Only it won't be colorized. We'll do that next stream, I think. Quit. So, log show. So I think we don't get any log messages unless like there's actually an error. So let's make an error. Just open up a garbage, any kind of file. Okay, we didn't get a log. Bummer. Let's see if the log is actually getting stuff. So that would be like dbg here. Building. Okay, it's not logging. Obviously it's not logging. Why is it not logging? Not logging anything. We are creating it, right? I wonder if it's this enabled. Enabled, it's supposed to return true, right? Would be logged. Oh. Huh. I feel like I'm missing something important. Let's both info something. This is being logged. And we're also going to print line something. Logger has been set. Okay. So the logger was set, but it was actually never called, which is bumming me out. Is this not just, does this just not work? The log writer log is just never called. Otherwise we would have gotten a debug message here, right? Print line log record. So there must be, I guess there's something more than calling set box logger, right? Cause the logger was set, but we're not actually getting any log messages. Do I have to like, okay, let's go back to the keyboard project. How did I actually get logging to work? I have to actually set that. I have to call set max level, I guess. Okay. Log set max level. Note that trace is the maximum because it, okay, so level filter trace. Let's see all the logs. Oh, there we are. Now we're getting a bunch of stuff. Oh, and there's our log. We're getting a good ton of stuff. Okay, so maybe trace is not the best. Let's get infos, I guess. Okay, so we had to set the max level. I forgot I had to do that. Show log. There we go. There's our log. But where's my scroll bar? I don't got a scroll bar here. What's the dealie? What's the dealio? I can't scroll this. I thought I put that in a scroll bar. Content. Yeah, I put it in a scroll area. Oh, I have to allocate and okay. I didn't do this stuff. I got to do this stuff. Allocate a virtual canvas. Okay. Yeah, and I have to track. I have to track how big it is. So I did this in a better way in the draw for the data tree. I remember this now. So data tree had a last canvas height, right? And then so I need to keep track of that. So last log canvas height. I feel like I need to refactor this, but that's okay. We'll do that later. Okay, draw. Draw main area. Right, so we had to do this canvas size, y equals last, allocate exact size. Okay, I need that. Over here. Hey there, King, and hey there, Imazdren. Hello. It's going okay. Struggling a bit. Okay, content, or content, right? Yeah, I need to refactor this out. Do that next time. So it's in here, right? And this is last log canvas height. And then I need to actually assign that when I'm done. I mean, I guess we can do it here. We just set it over and over again. Line number times row height. Actually, we don't have to store it. We can say what it is. Yeah, I don't need this. This should just be self dot log dot messages. Well, how about we just get log dot length? We'll just make a function for that, and then that'll be times as it'll be just this as f32 times row height. So then I don't need to update that in this last log canvas height can go. Okay, I just need a length for the log. So log is a logger, impl, let's make a length. Self gives me a usize. And that's just self.messages.lock.expect should be able to lock messages dot length. Okay. Still logging way too much, right? Because I'm logging all that GUI stuff that we don't care about. Oh, but look, oh, so I got a scroll bar, but we're not using the scroll bar's position correctly. All right. So when we draw a row, it's the offset. Okay, so then that offset is the minimum rounded down. Okay, so then going back to here, over to here. Yeah, so I got that canvas area, I just never used it. Minimum, and then, oh right, this was important, right? To intersect the container area with the canvas area, and then clip to it. I don't see it ever clipping to it. But we do want to clip to it, right? So right, that container area needs to be, we need to get that. That's this main area, right? Right, so this is, this is not main area. This is outer area. Or container area. Main area is container area intersect canvas area, and then I do a UI.set clipping rectangle, right? On the main area. And then, yeah, so then I align to, so this is main area top, right? To the row height, and then that's what I gotta add. I add the canvas offset to this. So I don't do a left top, I just do a 0, well, hold on. Hold on, I say. I think I do want to do a canvas offset. Well, I can just add to this. I can just say this is 0. And this is just that. Plus canvas offset. Let's see what I get there. Anything new to the app? Yeah, I'm adding a log to it. So in general, if I'm focused on something, you can always do the today command. Oh, look at that. I got the log to scroll. Cool. And we have this error. So I can't select or anything in here. So I got to work on this. I think I can just leverage something that was built into eGUI, right? Didn't they have like a text view or something? Like a code. They had a code editor. Text layout. Text edit. I don't know. There's probably a built-in widget for this. Someone edited a tomorrow command? That must have been Endorn who edited that. Well, I guess I just have more to work on, right? So we might want to work on like selecting, copy, paste, all that. I need to make this colorized. We are getting a correct timestamp, so that's nice. Kind of want to show the errors in a different color. We want to quiet down the WGPU stuff. I remember doing this. Like, there's a way you can just like quiet it down. Why are we getting a warning on robust access? I don't know. Oh, we should also add horizontal scroll bar, right? Can I do a scrolled area both on it? By the way, since I got this working, I don't need that info or that print line. I don't need the debug down here because it's all good now, right? dbg print line. Don't need that. Cool. All right. Yeah, one more then I'm done. I think, can I do like a both or something here? Yes, I can. All right, so now I should be able to scroll horizontally and vertically. I see a vertical scroll bar. I don't see a horizontal scroll bar though. Oh, because I'm not setting the width. Okay, I need to set that width. So that's a little harder, right? Because don't I have to like, I have to get these rectangles out, and then I have to take the widest one or something like that. So this will be a little harder, but I think I can do it. So this will be like I was going to do before, like last log width. Zero point 0 we initialize it to, and then I think we would set it to 0 again after using it for this right here. Canvas size dot y dot x equals self dot last width, right? Then we set it to 0. And then we get the let area, text area equals that, and then self dot last log width equals max. Well, self dot last log width max text area dot width. Okay, now it should scroll horizontally. Got a warning. Hey, look at that. Got a horizontal scroll bar. It's way wider than it should be, though. Way wider. Why is it so wide? I don't know. I don't know. Looks like I don't even not using the available size anymore. So this should just be, it is a rect. Well, what is it? It's a vec. Two, where x is that, and y is that. Why is that? And this belongs somewhere else. Comma. There. Did you check the messages at the bottom? No. We don't have a time command, sorry. The bot doesn't tell you the time. I think you're right. It is because some message is really long. Oh, there it is. We have a really long message in there. What is that? Created render pipeline. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, we need to shut up the WGPU stuff. We did that in the other project, right? Because it was chatty there too. Not in the keyboard project, but in the WGPU playground. I think I shut the log up. If I remember right, it was like in the main. Yeah, we did that. How do I... That's on simple logger. Does this mean that my logger has to do this? I guess that's what it is. Because this just stores it in some kind of map, right? Yeah, it's in the simple logger. Okay, so then I'm just going to do this manually for now. So it's... Let me copy these lines so I get the strings correct. Okay. To the logger we go. I must have closed it. I think it's right here. Let module equal record dot module. Module path. target, right? Okay, so I'm already getting it with that target. So let's just do it here. Match. It already is a slice. So match target. Actually, I can combine these two, right? Max min level. If level is less than min level, then we discard the message. Because it's too chatty. Oh, my hands are freezing. Gotta go real soon. That didn't do it. Because we have all these other names. Okay. Well, that's my own log message. I could say it's as if it begins with it. So it's like grabbing the colon prefix off of it, right? Prefix, strip prefix. With the, what if I want the prefix? Suffix then? Or is it like split first? Split once? And then map first rest to first. And then I guess unwrap or empty string, because I don't care then. And I don't care about the rest. Hey there, Endorn. So you want to split but keep the data? I just want to get the first part of it. Up to the colon, but not including anything that or after it. Still not working because I'm still getting all this stuff. WGP core and HAL. So it's supposed to say, like, if it's supposed to match that, and it's supposed to be warning, and the level is, if it's less than a warning, then it should return, so it's not exactly working. Yeah, it's not working. Project is going okay. I gotta go to work now, though. So here, let's open a real file. What I was working on today was the log. And I got it to show something. It's just showing me a bunch of log messages I don't care about. Oh, also it's not scrolling all the way to the end. Another things I need to do with this too, like I don't think the clipping rectangle's right. Yeah. The clipping rectangle's not right. And I want to have like buttons like you can close it or like have it always scroll to the bottom, that kind of thing. But yeah, hiding the part that I'm still working on, I can show you the parser for a real file. So you can click on a byte and it shows you what it means in the format. So if you click in here, it's like we're somewhere inside the global color table if you click that. And that here's the whole global color table. Here's the whole logical screen. Data blocks, here's the application extension. So application ID Netscape. It's pretty cool. Click into here. We get to the here's the time in hundredths of a second of this frame. And then in the image descriptor is the actual size. We can go all the way down to the bottom and see it parses all the way down to the trailer. It is like Wireshark. That's the whole point. I want to make my own version of Wireshark, but for like more general purpose data. Also, maybe Ramy could use this at some point for reverse engineering Digimon stuff. Anyway, that's all the time I got. Sorry, Endurin. I got to go to work. I know you just probably got home. But I gotta go. So, is Tim not around? We'll continue shortly. Okay, then I don't have anyone I can raid. Do you want to stream, Endurin? Dino Disco? I don't know what emote you mean. Oh, there you go. What is that? Dino Dance? See you later, King. I don't have anyone to raid. Could raid Tim, but like he's on a break or something. Desert Bus? Sorry, no stream today, Endurin. Oh well. Okay, I'm just gonna end the stream. I gotta go to work. I'll see you guys later. Bye.